We
There's
started
baby
the
celery.
scream. All right, what's up? Welcome back to the Arena Watch podcast. I'm Pack, formerly known as Pack Demon. No, I'm kidding. I'm still Pack Demon, but you could call me Pack. We got Trop, formerly known as Tropical Visions. Is that, or is it the Trop with Trop? We got
I guess
Celery
now it's the
eating
tropical
celery
top,
over
you
there,
know.
so he's just a crispy dude.
Yeah,
We should give him a little bit of
yeah.
ranch, and
I
he might
was,
actually be palatable. Otherwise, his opinions
I
could be a bit
was,
harsh.
I was trying to follow in your steps, and it's either the cell with celery, which sounds like I'm in a prison,
Maybe,
or
maybe,
the
maybe that's
celery
what it's
with
like for our
celery.
audience. So there's that. Let's get the pop
Yeah,
out chat
I
going.
kind of like him to sell with celery. You know, he's getting locked up. He's a dangerous piece of celery.
Yeah, he had
Uh,
it coming. Honestly, it
by
just
the
makes
way, I
sense.
don't see your streaming. I'm gonna keep refreshing, but I'm gonna be that guy that kind of lets you know if you're messing something up, and we don't seem to be live right
I'm
now.
seeing it now, so I'm good on my end. Uh,
I'm constantly refreshing. Are you seeing your own stream? You might have to throw out a link. What is going on?
okay, well there's that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Hmm.
Are you on YouTube? Is that what
Yeah,
you're on?
'cause I'm pretty sure he streams on YouTube. If you have an extra thing, you can check too, but we want to just be sure our jokes aren't going to waste again, right?
That's the idea.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I'm on the phone, so it's just switching around on the app. Let's.
It'd be good if I can at least
All
confirm
right.
that I see you live, but
Yeah, it's showing as live for me.
Yeah, I'm
are you
seeing it
serious?
too. It's
Yep.
good.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just need to
Maybe
I
it's
brought it.
just
I just need to throw the adverts out so everyone can see. Just give it the same title as what the stream is.
okay. I'm seeing it now. I had to refresh my shit.
Seems good. So everyone can see. Yeah, it's going. So there's that. All right, have it open there. I'm gonna throw the adverts real quick since I have them open.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. So how's everyone doing? How'd y'all do this week? How'd you? How'd you? I think I did better than both of you guys this week, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, the higher the number, the better, right? So I got one again. I keep messing up here. You're supposed to get a high number, right?
Yeah, I got a high number this time. A pretty high number. I'm pretty proud of it. Higher than I've gotten in a minute. So yeah, that was great. I didn't get to
Yeah,
stream my matches. I did record them, and I'll have them streamed after this. So there's that. So we'll get
Nice.
a double feature again, and I'm just gonna play back the video while commentating over it on stream. So that's gonna be nice. So we'll have
Did you
today's
collect one
matches as
gold?
well as, I mean, yesterday's together. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, I didn't place very low this week. I got let me see again, 237. Pretty bad. I rushed through these. I'm not gonna lie, but some of them were horrendous matches as well. So I had that going against me. But yeah, it
Yeah, I
is what
mean,
it is.
you're known as Pack Demon, right? Not Demon. So do doing it.
Well, I maybe I should stick to being slow because the speed ain't it ain't doing me favors. So I mean, I've been getting better at going faster, but that's probably the issue, right? Going fast is not what I should be doing. Not maybe someone else should be doing that. Not me so much. Uh, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna throw the adverts out there. Any of you want to recap this past week? What happened? What did you see? How'd you do? Other than getting first, how that happened? Was it easy? What did you encounter this week that was kind of like, ooh, that was a close one, or anything really?
Oh, that's actually good one. I really want to talk about that because I remember I was mentioning it earlier. I want to make kind of like a comparison because I've won 3 times now and I've had a different experience each time. So let me just kind of summarize. The first time I won was in week 7, and I would say an average to hard experience. There were definitely a few close calls there. And then we had last week. Holy shit. Last week there were so many close calls where I either almost lost one or two units or I almost lost the turn, and it was just so insanely hard. And then this week was almost a joke. Like, I'm not even saying when I say I don't think even once did I come close to losing a unit or losing a turn. So I there was maybe one or two matches where it got to the end of the turn two and my ghost had to deal the finishing hit. But I'm not joking when I say this was my easiest week yet by far. Not once did I come close to losing a unit. So that's something to note down.
Did
I
you
think I had an
face any
easier,
teams above 20,000 CP?
maybe like one or
Any
two
teams that were
total.
21,000 CP?
No, not this week. Last week I had a bunch, but not this week. Which brings me to something I think I figured out, at least with my experience, that matchmaking is really, really random. So past like the first or second day, some days you'll get a grab bag of harder opponents, sometimes you'll get a grab bag of easier opponents, and that's just how it works. Because like I may have got first last week and this week, but the experience was night and day, man. Like last week I was sweating. I'm like, this shit is hard. I might not make it. And then this week's like, am I fighting bots all week? I don't know. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's good giving the commentary on that because just seeing the raw score isn't enough to describe it because you could have got lucky and you know when you got lucky. It's pretty obvious, you know, because you could have
Yeah,
had a really it could have gone a different way, you know, and it's easy to tell when that is. What about
yeah.
you, Celery? What do you think? What happened for you this week? How'd that go?
I think I mentioned it earlier in our personal chat, but I had just one day where I had selection of five, rough matches. After the last few weeks, I've been auto skipping every match with a healer or a buffer because I know I'm not going to get a 128 out of them. I've been skipping Awaken to Starks, which basically counts as a healer. Like it pretty much falls under the same category. And with those restrictions, I had one day where I just, I was left with only like high awakened teams, and uh, I think I lost like 3 or 4 units throughout the 3 matches on one day, and they both took it, or I think it was like a 128 and a 116 and a 108. So they were both 3 turns with one losing 1 unit and one losing 2 units.
Mm-hmm.
And that day was my only, bad day, and that was enough to put me in silver. I ended up at 72. So
Oh damn.
Wait, that's this week, 72?
yeah, 72.
What was it last week again?
Oh, last week I was 497 because I had or
Because
472.
you said all those losses. I was like, where would that place you though? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I had a straight up loss last week. So that bumped me from top 20 to top 500.
Yeah.
So yeah, not as bad as last week. I won all my matches, but I did have one bad day that was enough to put me in silver, and now I'm 1 week away from the silver icon of shame.
Yeah.
But
I'm
got
this will be my what? I don't even does 230s get silver?
you're silver.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
three more weeks
500.
away from a silver of shame, as you put it. I don't think Trop's gotten silver once, has he? Have you?
No.
No, I have, yeah. During first of all, during the A rank arena week, because I just
Anyway,
didn't care.
yeah.
But apart from that, I played really, really poorly during Poison Week and ended up getting 60th. So I'm actually at 2 silvers, but Still a shit ton of golds. The I want to say that the A silver could have been easily avoided too, but I just didn't give enough of a shit about my A units. I'm like, nah, I'm not investing in this. I don't have enough books,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, I like my S units just how they are. I like one or two A units, but I don't like to show them all too much love here. So I basically sacrificed some tokens one week, but that's fine.
All right. So we got the map here. We're on week 19 now. It's another weightless week, which people like to dub whale week, which in my experience technically isn't true, but we'll get into that. We got the map here on the left already laid out. What do y'all think of this map?
I have some choice words about this map. It's not my favorite.
It has
It's
some
actually pretty
good
funny
sides
'cause,
to it. It has some good sides to it.
yeah,
It has some bad sides to it.
it has a lot of bad sides to it. Like I already know half the opponents I meet are for some reason going to stack three of their guys in the back
According
with
to a lot of people, that's the default position. So if you don't bother to do anything and you just auto, that's where they'll be. But I don't know why you would auto an 80-point match. The whole point of doing 80-point matches is so you earn more points. But they're
yeah.
autoing, so I don't get it, honestly. You might as well auto a 60-point match if you're going to auto.
And at that point, yeah. But some
Yeah.
people, man, some people just don't know.
Yeah,
And
that's why we're
it's
here
funny
to
because
tell them, right?
yeah,
Do your
I was gonna say it's
matches.
funny because you
Actually
you asked me the
try.
last,
Try and do your matches thoroughly.
yeah,
Don't half-ass
but
it. If you're
I
going to
don't.
fight arena, do it. Do it all the way. Yeah.
I, I I don't feel like honestly, I don't feel as good about this map. The last two maps you asked me about, I'm like, I like this map, and then I was able to show that I liked it. This map I don't really like, so I'm not expecting as good of a result this map. I'll still try, obviously.
Yeah, those
Arena tryhards here, but we'll see what happens.
those
I'm not
those
counting
back three
myself out just
positions
yet.
are very dangerous there. You know, that back row.
Yeah,
The fact that you could put
the
three
back
units there,
three,
that means
especially
that
for the
means only
tank
two
units.
units will be targetable. And who knows if they'd be lined up to be both hit with the AoE, because one could be in one wing and the other could be in the other
Yeah,
wing, in which case you won't be able to AoE either one. You'll have to single target,
yeah,
and if you're single targeting, it's not going to do as much damage as you will hope, right? Because I don't know, they're going to just run in there, and it's just what kind of single target will reach that far away? Would have to be Sorrows with his grabby hand, right? Because he has 3 move plus the same range as a spellcaster. But that's
yeah.
not that's it. Like, who else are you gonna use? What, are you gonna run in with some sort of Slon or something? I don't know. You could. That's a potential. But if you're doing Sorrow, are you gonna run Slon? Because you need the same build on both. How are you gonna run Sorrow and Slon? It's kind of difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's true because they
you
require
could
kind
give
of the
the
same
pyramid
effects.
claws, the golden claws, but that doesn't have any of the bang or whatever on it, so it's not as effective as Sorrow's nails.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who doesn't run Sorrow, I'd probably put the pyramid claws on him because you're going to be doing typeless damage anyway first turn.
That's true. Yeah,
Whereas,
that's true. Whereas with the other dude, you're gonna do the bang right away.
yeah, so you a lot of times are going to end up doing bang both turns with if you're running Slan. Whereas you,
So to clarify for that, the placement for Sorrow or Slon would have to be uh, in the wings. So it would have to be the leftmost position, the rightmost position, or the topmost position. Those two spots in front of the blocks. So right there, or it would have to be somewhere on the right. So if they're in the wings, that's how you take out the wings. Yeah, but
yeah,
everywhere else you would have to. I don't know. How about if they're behind the block? How about if they're behind the block on both sides and they're in those 3 slots? Then even grabby hand won't reach, uh, and only breath would, and breath would only hit like one at a time. One unit on this side, one unit on that side. That would suck. That would
I
genuinely suck.
personally, oh,
Are you gonna purposely go against high CP
you
teams? Because I don't.
pinpointed the issue.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that this week is important to know maybe for everyone listening because this might just be the truth, but this week, especially because this defensive map ban, because it's an all weight week, matchup RNG might factor a lot, and obviously position RNG, whether they taught their stuff buff. Like I think this week's gonna go a little more down to luck than the average week. With you consider all the potential things that can happen on a map like this, and
Yeah,
on a weight limit
you have
like
to start
this.
with worst case scenario and work your way up, right? Because people
Yeah,
plan for the best case and then they get, oh no, why'd this happen? No, you have to start from the worst case and then work your way up. So you have the
yeah,
contingency set up first, and then you worry about this is a piece of cake when you don't have to worry about those contingencies. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, that the worst possible positioning would be them be behind that block, right? But not the front tile behind the block. The tile behind the block.
Yeah.
So those two positions are taken up, and the back row. That's
Oh
the
fuck yeah.
worst possible thing that can happen. That would be the worst. You're not two. That's a 3-turn for sure, and you might lose a unit because if you rush in, sometimes who knows what can happen.
Yeah. So that's like
Yeah,
a
So yeah.
checkmate style position, and I think I saw that a few times last Weightless week. I think we had a similar map, but I can't remember it completely now. But
Hmm.
I might have seen that weird U style layout, like you said, the U. I might have seen that once or twice last week, and it was just it was a 3-turn. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you were saying, you're planning for the worst. That's when the matchup choices are going to really come into play. Is if you get one of those bad lineups, your only chance of doing 2 turns is to charge in. So hopefully you've ended up against a weaker team where they can't take advantage of the aggression. You'll have to make that decision if it's worth charging in or if you're just going to accept a 1-2-4 with a safer approach.
There's one unit that transcends everything on this map. Do you know who it is?
Hmm.
It's pretty new.
Pretty new, eh?
Yeah.
Was
It
This
rhymes
guy?
with applaud.
Oh, Claude. Yeah, Claude could do pretty well in this map.
He's the only unit that can hit everybody on this map. Depending on how you place him. No, it doesn't matter where you place him.
No,
He's the only
No,
unit that
that's
can
the only-
successfully AoE, let's say, on this map. Because if you're going to use his
I don't
ability,
think
he
so.
needs
he
to
only has
multi-target, you know? He can't just hit one person with his paw stomp. He needs to hit everybody.
Paw Stomp's only 2 range though.
Yeah, it's not
Is
3.
it? But he has 4 movement.
So 4 plus 2
Yeah,
is
he has the same range as the breath users as Halberd, Dragonlord.
So what are these units right here in this map? When you look at the map, to the right of Sorrow, who's that? Who's that unit right now? To the right of Sorrow.
Halberd?
Halberd, yeah. So that position that Halberd's on the right, and the mirrored version on the left,
Yeah.
Claude can hit that. Claude can hit that. Sorrow can't. Claude can hit. I believe he could hit the whole back line too.
Oh, I see what I see what you mean. No, he can't hit the back line, but he can't hit where you're saying.
Can't he? Look, hold
But
on.
still can a breath user.
No.
So I'm
The very
confused.
back line, no. I think the breath user could hit where Sorrow is, but a breath user can't hit behind Sorrow. There's no way.
Okay, but what we're trying to say is that Claude can't either, because the breath user's a 3 move, 3
3,
range, so that's 6, right? And then Claude is 4
4.
and 2 range, which is 6.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. But hey,
Unless you teach him a spell like Crackle or something for some reason, then he can. Yeah.
hey, then I guess it's Get someone who has it by default, rather. You could bring in a Draguar.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Draguar, uh, Bone Baron, they can hit that back row. It's just if it's worth it for you.
Well, it would have to be. It would have to be. I'm definitely bringing Bone Baron this week, just for that reason alone. No, I'm kidding. It's weightless. What would I do with a Bone Baron?
Wait,
Why aren't there any good 4-move units in A rank yet? It would be too OP, huh?
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
it's just hybrid. Because I know, I mean,
Draguar.
Draguar and hybrid, but yeah. I think hybrid does more damage than Draguar with the spell and the breath, with the range. But single target, obviously the physical Draguar will do more damage. But with the range, I think hybrid just edges him out just by a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is,
All right. Map
yeah,
aside, what do you guys feel like? Imagine this map wasn't this map. Imagine it was our ideal AoE/breath map. Why?
So basically, the last 2 weeks worth of maps. Eh?
Exactly. What do you guys feel about people calling Weightless Week Whale Week? What do y'all think of that?
It depends. Like I don't think they're entirely wrong. I know that last time free to play player won it, but like I said in my recent findings, that changed my mind because we don't know if the free to play player just found an easier bucket the whole week or not. Like it's entirely possible. So
I
it's
had an okay bucket the last Weightless week, and if I wasn't screwing around, that would have been like thinking about it. The other weeks that I lost points. Like even when I got really close to getting perfect, I lost points, and there's no way I could have won those.
yeah.
But on Weightless week, I could have got a perfect. Just from what I saw, I could have actually got a perfect, and that was the only week I could say that. As a
Yeah,
basically unit wise, I'm a free to
Saber
play
Cat
player, right?
PTSD.
I'm a free to play player unit wise, and if we're talking arena, you're bringing your best of your best. So even if I didn't have the gold from passport, I would have enough gold to at least max out the best of my best, right? So
Yeah.
Weightless week, I absolutely dominated because I had the top AoE meta picks basically already in my party. I had enough built around. Some people might have just like one good S unit, and then they bring in a few their crappier ones, and then they bring in a few A's, right? But with my whole team, I did pretty well. I did pretty well that week, and this time my Bianca is maxed out. And has an extra awakening, so I don't think she'll die this time, and I won't be. I can be even more lackadaisical, right? Like I could put her in compromising positions, which I shouldn't have been doing last time.
Yeah.
As you know, I died to was it striking saber cat,
Yeah.
as you like to remind me.
So I was gonna say, yeah, that striking saber cat PTSD. It's like, yeah. If it wasn't for that, because the thing you did with Foxy, I didn't see it personally, but that was because you already lost 8 points. Like you didn't care at that point. But like if you
I
were like
was it
trying,
8
you would have
points?
only lost 8 points.
Was it 8 points? Yeah, because I lost the okay. Yeah, and then I was screwing
Shit,
around, and then I
because it was
lost
yeah.
another turn or something. I could have 3 turned, but I 2 turned or something like that. I don't know. I was screwing around. I
Yeah.
didn't care. It's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
to be fair though, even all your viewers were relaxed. So when you moved that Bianca up, like you got too cocky, but no one else saw it either. Like we were all like, oh, this is
I
an easy
saw it. I
team,
mean, I
all
was like, I
relaxed.
didn't need to move her up, but I did. I was just like, I'm just gonna move her up because I can. I treated it like it was an auto match, and
Well, weren't you moving her up? So
if it was an auto match, she would have moved up anyway, right? So I was trying to, what I was going for in the moment was mimicking auto. Literally, I'm like,
actually,
I
no,
literally could
I
auto
think you
this
played it
match.
even dumber than Auto, because in Auto she would have stayed back and buff.
Oh, that's
You played it even dumber than Auto.
no. She wasn't in range to buff because the other units had moved up. Remember, she wasn't 110, so she didn't have that crazy agility that Bianca has. Zap units tend to be pretty fast, I think, and she just
Yeah.
wasn't fast for 'cause she was like, I can't remember what level she was. She was in the 90s or 100 or something. I can't remember for the life of me.
Okay, okay, 'cause I was gonna say for a second, I was like, wait, didn't you play it dumber than Otto? Because Otto would have just buffed, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think she would have moved up, or she would have buffed herself at the very least. Maybe.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
so
know.
you've been autoing that instead of applying.
She didn't, but
Yeah,
basically the
might have.
buff she would have provided by moving up was useless, right? Like those units
Hmm.
didn't need it. It was just icing on the cake. And then they smashed my cake
Yeah.
because I got too close. It was just I was Icarus flying too close to the sun, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know if I remember
You're
correctly. I
not
think we were
Greek,
all
but
a
you're
bit
pretty close, so I'm
surprised.
I'm pretty sure you could relate to that analogy. Right? Romania's close
What?
to Greece.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's actually really close. Like honestly, 12, 14 hour drive you can get there.
Yeah. So it's like what you guys could be like. You guys have a lot in you. You have Latin in you. You have a lot of the Romani people. You know the Romani people, right? Gypsies. There's a lot of them in
Mhm.
Romania. There's other than the Latin, there is the actual whatever Romanian is. There's some sort of Slavic there too. Heart barely, right? And there's the Turkic attempted invasions, right? So there's the little bit of
Mhm.
the balkanization going on there too. So it's there's in the older going farther back, it would be a little bit of the Greek. So you guys have all that going for you. That's quite a lot. No? Am I way off the mark here? Mm,
I'm thinking it's like partially right, but
history.
I'm not a huge like history person, so I don't know I can't fully confirm our
You'll just
ancestry.
have to
I'll
take my
just
word for
I'll
it
just
about what
assume
your
it's right.
people are, Trop, because I'm gonna tell you what you are, because I can.
I mean,
No,
at this point, yeah,
no one likes being
I
told.
left. I honestly, I left for Romania at a young age, and
You
I
don't.
didn't do
Yeah.
much research. So you probably know me better than I know myself.
Well, it's time to do some soul searching. But aside from that, like I think, what units would you bring for this week? Like ideally, it's weightless. You have all the picks that you could possibly want. You have every unit in the game. What are you bringing?
Oh, so this one's easy.
Stark. Uh, it's a defensive map. You want to charge in. He has the breath to hit something like, and he has the bulk to tank the retaliation. I think he's easily your top pick if you have him, especially if you have him awakened to add that extra healing factor.
I would say so, and that those two blocks right there might force people to run through the middle, in which case they might be lined up in a row of three. And when you hit someone on all the way to the left or all the way to the right, and they're in a row of three, his 5 row hit hits all the way to the left, or it hits all the way to the right, depending where he's standing, right? So it'd get all of them pretty much. If it's lined up, if the stars line up, if everything goes your way, you might want to build your units slower, like your casters, maybe Zoma. Maybe he could afford to be slower. Maybe you give him the minus agility sword for
Sword.
HP and so he loses agility, gains some tankiness. I mean, he has dark robes. He has dark robes. Like he has it in the making to have a tank build on him, but just no one tries it because they need the damage, right? But if you have like,
Yeah.
I have 3 awakening. Like I could sacrifice a staff and still do a shit ton of damage.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe I might do that this week. I honestly couldn't say. Um, and definitely not building agility this week. Or I do, right? Because if I'm going to rush in with the breath users, I want them to hit first. So the other people hit, and then they hit them turn two, right? I don't want to have it be their turn. They do absolutely nothing. and then I breath them, and then they move, and then I hit them. I
I,
don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
What's
that's
better? What's better? I don't know.
well, that's something I've
Because if they
been
run up, your
playing with.
casters could still hit them.
Yep. So I run Great Dragon on my team because I have no units, and Great Dragon outspeeds almost everything. So I've been playing with like one of the things I used a couple times this past week was Great Dragon to bait out Deborah. So with the half resist of Stiz, and Great Dragon, if he can bait out one of their faster units, like if they have a unit going second or third, then the rest of their units will move forward. So you can have a slow team with one fast member, and as long as that fast member can bait the enemy, you can get them all to move up, and you get
But you can't build
all
that
of your.
fast member with more agility, right? Like Great Dragon, you'd have to build him tanky just so he could survive, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've got an HP frost sword on him, and then I can put one of the armors on him to get a bunch more HP. So he ends up at like over like 950 HP, something like that.
Yeah. How many awakenings does yours have so far?
3.
3. I think I'm sitting at 1 awakening. Yeah, I had only gotten
I
him
mean,
recently, to be honest.
yeah. Well, I mean, for the anyone who doesn't have Great Dragon, Seraphie, maybe probably not Seraphie. So pretty much just Great Dragon, or I'm trying to think of anyone else that's really fast that can actually have the HP to bait. And for if you don't have the units, it's Umbra. Like you just run Umbra as your initiator. He's got the better range than Great Dragon. He's got great defensive stats. I think this past week, like I said, I used that strat a few times using Great Dragon. I think it's definitely going to be viable this upcoming week with this crappy map.
All right, we didn't get much input for you from you yet, Trop. So what units? I mean,
Oh, I
like
am
what
going to tell
strat
you what. I'm going to
and
tell
what
you
units are
the
you bringing
unit stuff.
specifically? Because I think we talked a lot about what anyone could bring, but
Okay, so I'll mention that too.
yeah, mention both,
So
like what you would want if you had it.
yeah,
What's currently in
so
global? No KM2s.
out of what I would want that's currently in global that I'm missing from my ideal team this week is Sorrow, because Sorrow is one of those units that even if he can't hit in the first turn, he can do his massive AOE, and like people underrate how good AOEs are. Anything that has an AOE, especially an A level AOE, just so good, and that rolling attack can hit so many different things. So Sorrow, which I don't have, so I might flex in the brides. I might flex in Bianca or Nera. They're not my ideal choice, but they're the best I can get for a fifth slot. Other than that, a Stark, which I have, Dragonlord True Form, which I have, Halberd, which I have, and Zoma, which I have. So it's pretty close to the units that I want to bring.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because it's like, yeah, I might not be in range to attack, but I could bring Bianca. Bianca could run 2 tiles in front of, say, Estark or something, and then buff Estark. People rush
Or
onto
Sorrow.
Bianca,
Sorrow.
and then Estark hits them after being buffed up, and then he gets hit. He's already at 3 stacks for turn 2.
Yeah. I want to say either him or Sorrow, because I don't know if you faced any arena teams that have buffed their Sorrow. It just does a fuckload of damage.
Oh yeah, Sorrow's definitely like
I'm
buffed
pretty sure you're
Sorrow.
bringing
I think
Sorrow
does
this
more
week, right?
damage than Estark AOE wise. I don't
Yeah.
quote me on that, but it feels that way because so many units
hmm
are just weak to bang, like Halberd. Like because like if you're one shotting anyway with Estark, you're one shotting anyway
Yeah.
with Estark. Like you might as well take out some of the tankier units like Halberd or whoever else is weak to Bang. There's one other unit. I think Killing Machine is weak
Yeah.
to Bang, and a few others like that. So
Hybrid,
Hybrid and Hellion,
Stark.
Stark, yeah, exactly. And you could one shot all those units if you're buffed up 2 stacks even. So
Yeah.
at least with my Sorrow, I don't know about everyone else's. I only have one Awakening, which is more of all you need pretty much. But of course, Max Awaken would be a godsend. But who has that?
Yeah. I'm definitely sad I don't have Sorrow for a Weightless week again, but I'll make do without it. Because honestly, actually, if I had Sorrow, you gave me an even better idea. I would actually take Zoma out of my team entirely and make it a team full of physical, and I would use Bianca, Sorrow, Dragonlord, Trueform, Halberd, and Stark. Like I'd make it all physical users actually if I had Sorrow
Hmm.
awakened.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
So that's something you might be able to do. Except obviously you'll use your Zoma because it's good. That'll be like
I
your
have a good
replacement
Soma.
for Dragonlord, Trueform.
Like I said, I might just build him tanky. I just might give him the Sword of Ruin,
Hmm.
and I might give him. I won't be stupid. I'll give him some robes, right? So he has some sort of magical damage. But I think that's
Yeah.
where I think that's where the buck stops. I think that's where it stops, and then I could just bait people out with some other unit and then hit them with Zoma. I'm thinking, because yeah, I could build damage, right? But what's the point of building damage if I only get one hit off within 2 turns versus a little bit less damage but hitting both turns guaranteed, right? If someone's
I
in the
get
wing anyways, I'm going to hit them with Zoma for sure. And I'm not going to then that whole strategy is kaput. It's useless. But even if I was weakened, even if I had just HP and I hit someone in the wing and then I finished them off with a different unit, I'd be fine, right? If I was treating the best case scenario like it was the worst case scenario, yeah, I would do a little bit worse on the best case scenario, but I would still 2 turn. But if I treated every scenario like it's the worst case scenario, I'd perform a little worse on the best case scenarios. But it doesn't matter because I'd still be able to 2 turn even performing worse, right? Than than specializing for it. But if I specialize for worst case scenario, then I get the best of I think both worlds. Because you just have to make it past 2 turns. That's it. You just need to get in the clear for that. You don't need to do the best case positioning for the enemy perfectly, right? Because you should already be able to 128 any match if you have AOE, if you have all the right units. Not even type correctly, right? Zoma has Psy Cannon. He has other abilities that he could use that don't match type, and he's fine. Uh, Even if you don't match for it, you should still be able to kill them. You should still be able to do well enough to 128 that.
Yeah, I
Optimal
think
builder,
like
no. So I think I'm just going to
it's
give
a
him the
weird.
Sword of Ruin. I think I'll do it this
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Call me
Like I
crazy, but
agree.
I
I'm
think I
gonna
might do it.
I'm gonna say like while that seems like a weird strategy, you're really thinking outside the box this week because you're like, okay, so he loses some wisdom, but if they're placed in the best case scenario, you're gonna two
I'll
turn
do
anyway.
less. I'll do less damage because in the
But
best case scenario, I would have been able to hit them both turns regardless of whether or not I
but
had the
if you're
Sword of
preparing
Ruin.
for the worst case scenario, then with the Sword of Ruin, it's like okay, you're sacrificing a bit of damage, but you're preparing yourself for that worst case scenario.
But
So
then the
that's
worst
actually a
case
really good
scenario is
point.
exactly the same as the best case scenario at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a trade off. I don't know.
it's interesting. And that's something that I'll have to think about too. If I want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm obviously not going to do that today though, because I'm going to be fighting bot teams. But I'll have to think about it tomorrow.
Your Zoma's one awaken, two awaken, two, right?
Two,
Two is
two,
not
yeah.
bad. It just doesn't have the next stage of mad spell potency,
Yeah.
which is where you're gonna get the damage as well as the wisdom. It's quite a punch. I think the third awakening's quite a lot. Fifth
Hmm.
awakening too.
So,
If I ever get my Zoma maxed, I'll be ecstatic.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree that I think it's a uh, like I said, outside the box strategy, but I think it's solid, especially this week. The defensive style map,
It,
guaranteeing you get 2 hits out of your Zoma is a big.
it's
That's a
like this.
big.
There's a goalpost, right? And you're just trying to get within the goalpost. Everything's a passing grade within the goalpost. So you want to. This isn't capitalism or communism, right? Like, I mean, this is communism, the idea that I have, but it doesn't work in the real world. It works in this case because there's artificially this goalpost that you need to fit, right? So you just need your victory to fall within 2 turns and not losing a unit. That's it. So you don't need to go overkill on the ideal scenario. You just need to go overkill on the worst case, and you'll win for both. You'll get a passing grade for both, right? So you do get within that buffer zone. You do I don't know. It's you know how people say communism, the economy crashes less, but capitalism causes more growth for an economy. It's kind of like that, but we want the stability here because you just have to get this. It's artificial. It's not like the real world where there's consequences and shit. Like you just have to fit within this artificial bubble of getting a 128, which is what this game is. It's a digital game, right? The real world is analog. This is digital.
Yeah.
Like digital as in not digital as in electricity. That's what people think when they think digitized information. No, this is an analog curve. It's smooth. This is digital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? It's like perfect whole numbers each time. Well, it's really ones and zeros, but it's perfect whole numbers. Like the real world's not like that. The real world has numbers like pi, where it's irrational. You can never rationalize it, and that's everything digitized is rationed, right? It's divided by another number, and it divides perfectly eventually by another number. So I don't know. It's tough. Within the confines of this game, communism works, folks. It's coming from a guy whose parents came from post-communist system. Adjust the extremities here. Sacrifice some of your best moments to get within this goalpost. That's all you need. You just need a passing grade. Basically.
Yeah.
If that's the only analogy I can draw, is that.
Make sure you know your new number. I don't want to be leaving something at a sliver of health that gets to counterattack when.
Exactly.
I mean, probably don't have as much to worry about with the sword on him. He's going to be real slow. So.
Yeah. If you were going to give anyone a sword, who would you give it to? Both of you guys. The Sword of Ruin. If you were to do some sort of speed slowing strategy or speed up strategy, who and what? Which units and what would you give them? The Sword of Ruin, or would you build agility? What speed related tricks would you think about playing this week? On who? We got I think 7 minutes and we'll wrap it up, but final question basically.
Yeah, because we gotta. Everyone knows how I feel about those raving loonies. We gotta get out there. We gotta farm the raving.
Get those raving loonies.
Get you a confidence boost going into the week. But honestly, this is a weightless week, so it doesn't even matter what bot you choose. It's weightless week, so you're gonna fuck them all up.
I guess that's true, but they are in the back, so there's a potential. If you're going against raving loonies and they have that Devi moth, I don't know what it's called. It's gonna run.
Yeah.
And kabuff in the back. So it's gonna be a doozy. But hey, you could maybe one shot him if you have a breath.
One shot turn two.
I'm pretty sure I can, yeah.
I mean, Celery definitely could one shot because he has the 20% breath from a Great Dragon. I don't know about us, but he definitely can always one shot, no matter what he builds.
I've enjoying farming White Kings. I can outspeed up to 4 heart, up to 4 awaken, and I can one shot up to 4 awaken. So that's what I'm always looking for is 4 awaken. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
all that I personally remember is I faced Raving Loonies a shitload of times, and I can't remember how much health the moth has, but it's less than my halberd can
It,
do. That's for
I don't
sure.
know.
So I should be.
It's under 500. I know that. Somewhere in the
Yeah.
400s. So it depends. Uh,
To
but
answer
okay,
your
but like
question, though,
finishing off the question,
I
like
think
who would you put the Sword of Ruin on, and who would you
I
put
think
agility on?
I think White King is a solid candidate if that's the unit that the DQT gods have blessed your box with, and you've got a 4 awaken, a 5 awaken, White King that you're running in Weightless week.
White King or Zoma?
Uh,
Because
I,
it's like you need a caster. Casters don't get harmed by a drop in agility. They
Mhm.
they do get harmed by not having wisdom, so that's the only trade off. But they get
yeah, you'll do
HP.
less damage, but I mean, White King and Zoma are both quite fast. Uh, White King, especially, like I said, at 4 awakens, he outspeeds my halberd if I don't put a agility cloak on him. At 5 awakens, he just always outspeeds. So I think he's a solid candidate.
Let's see. What about you, Trop? We haven't heard from you on this.
Sure. Yes, it's gonna be a bit of a weird answer. I feel
Because
like
I know
you
maybe
guys
you
know me
wouldn't even do the
well.
strat at all, but theoretically, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll say theoretically, because Pac Demon knew what I was thinking there. I'm like, you guys have seen my team. You know
You
I
don't
don't
need
build for
it.
speed
You
either.
don't. You definitely don't need it. I'm just saying theoretically.
Um,
Because I mean, you already said it yourself. You might not run Zoma, but if you did, or White King or someone, I don't know, who would you put it on? You could still. There's still some other users that
okay.
you could put it on,
So
and I also threw in
so
agility there too. So this agility counts too. Like if you want to add agility or take away agility, both answer both those questions. Who would you do it to theoretically?
okay, that's a good question because in these 18 past weeks, I've never added agility. But if I really wanted to, maybe maybe Dragon Lord True Form because he's the slowest. As for who I take agility away, I guess Great Dragon if I brought it because he's already really fast, especially mine. So he could stand to lose a little bit of HP. I mean
I
agility, not
I would
HP.
recommend you bring Great Dragon to the bot matches, for sure.
Bot
Just
matches,
yeah. Like I said, having that extra
maybe.
damage on the breath, just in case if they run away, could be
Hmm.
important. So you could at least kill them turn two, right? Because the breath's
Yeah.
the only thing that will reach, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the team. Yeah, sometimes physical is good too, which I use a start for, but no, it's valuable input. I think yeah, the bots could be dickheads this week, but otherwise, um, yeah, I don't know, because if it's Raving Loonies, I already know I can kill it. If it's what is that team with the White King and the Archdemon?
Undead
That
Troop,
one
I
you
think.
might not want
Undying
this
Troop,
week.
or no, not no. Archdemon's not.
Undying Troop, yeah.
I don't know if Archdemon would be an Undying Troop, but Undying Troop is another good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we get to
Close
close.
out here pretty soon. Yeah. If you have to leave early, leave early. I'm gonna do my sign off here after adding a little note to that thing that you mentioned. If I could remember what I wanted to say. Uh, shoot, I'm losing it.
The pack with pack
No, before that, you were talking something about your teams, and I had some input to drop, like 10-second input.
for me.
Yeah, you're saying something, and I didn't say it, but I wanted to say
Oh,
something.
probably that I never build agility. And actually, I can stay a bit longer. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my tablets that I'm fighting the bots at the same time. So that's actually a win-win. I'll
Yeah,
be right
that
back.
load up the matches so at least you have it set, right? So you at least have it going. Because as long as you refresh and it's there, right, then you have it.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, you did give the input about bringing Great Dragon for the bot matches. I'm not sure if you had more input.
Uh, I can't. Oh, yeah, I did. Is there any case for any account, not just yours, but you can mention for you, in which an A unit, even if it's just one A unit, would be worth bringing this week. Is there ever a case in which an A unit would be worth bringing this week, and which A
I mean,
unit would it be? Or which A units
I
would it be?
mentioned earlier using Umbra in a bait strategy where your whole team is generally slower, and then Umbra serves to bait, so the entire enemy team moves forward. Uh, I
Okay.
think that's a solid strategy.
Okay. What about you, Trop?
I'd say my top three. I agree with Umbra. I think Claude is another good one, and Starscream, who's been doing really good recently, always brings Claude. He wants to bring it this week. I agree. Slann. Slann might also be good if you want to bring in a unit. Build him for agility.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
only thing with Slann is if you're bringing Slann, you're not bringing Sorrow because they require the exact same equipment.
Kind
So
of. I think Celery touched on it. He said the first hit with Sorrow is probably going to be the typeless anyway, so you might as well, I guess, give the Golden Claws to Sorrow, and then the Bang Claws to Slann, because he's going to hit turn 1 with Bang, and he's going to hit turn 2 with Bang as well, most likely.
yeah,
So that's one way to do it. I don't know. But as for me, I would agree. Slann. I'm not feeling the Umbra. I'm not gonna lie. I know Bone Baron is immune to paralysis, so he's perfect to bait Sorrow. If you build HP on him, so whatever your highest HP sword is, it might be the Undying Sword from the Battle Roads, so the Undead Sword, which is the
hmm
sword Undying Sword, I think. Uh, or if you had a perfect roll on a Platinum or any of the swords really, if you had a 3 roll for HP, that would be
yeah,
perfect too. A triple HP roll, that would be perfect to give him, as well as the liquid metal shield or something, and literally no wisdom, just more HP to bait. Because like wisdom isn't gonna increase his spell damage. Potency will, but not by much. So you might as well take HP, so he could
yeah,
survive and bait and hit people in the back line with his thing. So I would say Bone Baron, and I would say Slann and Claude, and that's it. I would not recommend anyone bring any other units. I think maybe if you had perfect resistances against your enemy units, maybe you could bring the Boreal Serpent. But that's, I don't know if you would ever face a
mhm.
team which it's all like crack, and I don't know what else Boreal resists, but it's crack and something else. But probably not. Like that's a 0.5% chance, right, of finding a team like that.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
an interesting.
I would say Claude for sure, Claude, Slann, and Bone Baron, and that's it. That's all I see. I wouldn't
Yeah,
recommend anything else.
yeah. If you're like content on bringing, well, one of those, that's probably it.
Yeah. So I think that wraps it up nicely, actually. So,
Oh,
anyways,
I checked.
guys,
I didn't get minis for the first one. Oh well, it shouldn't matter. They should
how'd you
all.
not get minions for the first one?
No, I didn't get Raving Loonies. I got a
I got
bunch of.
both Raving Loonies and Undying Troop here. Let's see. Undying Troop does have interesting. So Undying Troop only has 2 undead units. The rest is, like you said, the what is this dude? Uh, Archdemon. There's the Cyclops dude. It's not, his name is not Cyclops. Gigantes, and there's Hades Condor, and that's the Undying Troop. I don't know.
Mhm.
I guess the Condor could fit into there because he heals, so it prevents them from dying. But I don't see how Gigantes and Archdemon fit into that, to be honest. But I don't know. They're sandwiched in between the units that do count, so there's that. I don't know between that or uh, Raving Loonies, which is better because I don't know. I feel like Hades Condor is slower than Devimoth, and that might come in handy, right? Because if he's slower than Devimoth, he'll try to do the kabuff or whatever he does, but it will be slower. So you might be able to
Mhm.
kill him. whereas Devymoth just might do their thing, right? I don't know. I mean, they're all rank 5, so it might not matter. We'll see. All right, I got to do my matches. I don't know if I should stream. There's probably no point. They're bot matches, yeah? I'll
Yeah.
probably stream. All right, well, I'm going to sign off of this and start with my arena matches. All right, guys. Well, I've been Pack Demon over here. We got Celery, we got Trop. Links into their channels in the description below, as well as all the Discords and the Reddit and whatnot. Everything's down there below. If you want to join the pack with Pack, you could subscribe down below. If you like this video, go ahead and like this video. If you have something to say, comment down below. If you want people to see my stuff, go ahead and share it. Otherwise, how the hell are they going to see it? Anyways, guys, this has been Pack Demon. See you next week, same time, 1 hour before reset. That's 4 p.m. PST on Sundays. This has been Pack Demon, signing out. Peace.